If you've made it this far into my video, congratulations! You've already lasted longer than the majority of players in my Dead by Daylight matches over this past weekend. Hello YouTube, Sergeant Fidget reporting in, and today we are going to talk about the no DC penalty that was in Dead by Daylight over this past weekend, and as of today, that DC penalty has been restored. I played a bunch of Survivor and a bunch of Killer over the weekend, and I had people DCing on both sides. So before this turns into a Killer main versus Survivor main, us versus them, blah, 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 everyone is equally guilty of DCing. Now, so I'm not coming off as holier than thou. I have 100% DC'd from games before. I remember a game about a month and a half, 2 months ago, where I spawned in as Blight on Gideon Meat Plant, and I was about a minute and a half in, and I was like, you know what? I just really don't want to play this. I hate this map. This map is super boring. It's literally just holding W between pallet to pallet to pallet. It wasn't that the survivors were bullying me too good, whatever. I just find that map to be an absolute snooze fest. So I DC'd, fully accepting that I was the one ruining the game and fully accepting my 5-minute DC penalty for it. The thing with DCs is that no matter what side you're on, you are inevitably ruining the game for everyone else involved. If you're a killer, you are ending the survivor's game prematurely, potentially taking away, maybe if they brought in a blood point offering, they lose that offering and get absolutely no value for it. Or if you're a survivor and you DC, you are ruining the game for your other 3 teammates, and more than likely the killer is absolutely going to stomp on them now. Or sometimes you get killers who feel bad and the game turns into like a farm, which is just like super boring. At that point, I just want to go next. I kind of wish from the survivor side, if someone did DC, that everyone else would have the opportunity to, you know, DC themselves penalty free, because the game's ruined. It's over. There's not much that can be done for it. One of the biggest arguments that I have seen over the weekend when people were talking about the DC penalty or lack thereof on Twitter was that I have the right to DC because I am not having fun. Now, sure, if you are playing a game and you are not having fun, sure, stop playing the game. I completely understand that. There are many games out there, and if you're not having fun playing Dead by Daylight, maybe it's time to go play something else for the rest of the day or take a couple days off, whatever have you. But the big thing that I've been seeing and even experienced in my own games is people tend to DC when they get outplayed. Simply, they were the first survivor down, so they are going to DC now because, yeah, exactly. I have no idea. I have no idea. How dare you be the first person down? I must leave this game now. A lot of people were like, well, I'm not having fun, so why should I stick around in the game? And when I was reading these tweets and hearing this kind of mentality, it reminded me of a TikTok that I posted a while ago, and that it just kind of amplified that a lot of people who play this have a lack of empathy towards the other players in this game, both the killers and the survivors. In the TikTok clip, one of the other survivors who was full health brought the killer to me who was injured, and instead of the full health survivor either throwing the pallet to give me a moment to get away, taking a body block hit to give me a little bit of distance, they instead used their sprint burst to get as far away from me as possible, leaving me to get down by the killer because I had nowhere to go. And a lot of the comments, not all of them, but there were a good amount of comments that unironically, genuinely didn't understand why my teammate going out of their way to not help me was a bad thing. And that right there, to me, was a perfect example of why solo queue is the way it is today. People throw away the idea that this is a team game, and they boot into it as if they are playing a single player game where they are the only person that matters. I don't know how many times I have gone in for foolish saves or taken a down for a survivor, taken a body hit, whatever, especially if, for example, say the killer is tunneling one of my survivor teammates out, they're on death hook and I haven't been hooked at all. I will often go out of my way to go down for that survivor so that the other survivor can get away, maybe get healed, get on a gen, whatever, because I can understand that the more survivors we have in the game, there is a bigger chance of us actually winning the game. And I just feel that this whole DC penalty, and if I'm not having fun, why should I stick around into the game, is just another example of that lack of empathy towards other people. A big running joke in my stream is every time I get a pinhead when I'm playing Survivor, everyone's like, oh, DC, because everyone knows he's one of my least favorite killers to play against. This weekend, I had some pinheads spawn into my match, and the people in my Twitch chat were like, oh, you're gonna DC? You're gonna DC? And no, I didn't, because it felt crappy to ruin everyone else's game just because I don't like that killer. It's just not fun. It's not fun. But what about my fun? What about my fun? You're in there for a team game, right? You should be thinking of your entire team as a whole and not just yourself and going out of your way to ruin other people's games. Now, I know a lot of people are listening to this and getting angry and fully disagreeing with me, and that's okay. The reason I want to record this YouTube discussion video is so that we can have an open discussion. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, I 100% encourage you to respectfully reply in the comments down below and let me know why you think you should be able to DC without penalty, or if you agree why people shouldn't be able to DC without a penalty. Please let me know by all means. I would love to have an open discussion about this. It's something that honestly we're not all going to agree upon anyway. So if you think it's okay for either a killer or a survivor to DC with no penalty, let me know in the comments down below. Or if you do agree with me, let me know about what your experience were like over this weekend. I just feel when I was playing Survivor, seeing my fellow Survivor teammates DC on their first down, or playing killer and trying to load in and people just DCing left, right, and center, ruining the games to the other people after waiting, in a 3 to 5 minute queue is just super boring and super unfortunate. And yeah, that's just everything I wanted to say. Thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments below what you think, and I will see you in the next video. It says a lot when the person I tunneled onto their second hook at the very beginning of the game is the best sport out of all 4 of those survivors. That says a lot. That says a lot.